Up+Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up+Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Tuesday, rainy Tuesday. Thank you so much, though, for being Up+Adam. Appreciate you more than you know. My name is Adam Montiel. Appreciate your indulgence yesterday. I mentioned we were not going to be doing a show Monday because we were moving studios. It was moving day here on Up+Adam. We were moving out of the Timbre Lowbro studios to what I will tell you, and I'll tell you more about it, but the SloCal studios. The Lowbro SloCal studios. Now, I do love, it's kind of like two Lowbro studios because I live in the Lowbro. Also, Timbre is in the Lowbro, Lower Broad, of course, the neighborhood in San Luis Obispo. And I am so close. I'm only like I make like 3 lefts, quick lefts, and I'm at the new studios. But I will tell you all about it at the end of the show. But I just gave you a big hint there when I said SloCal. Today, though, my goodness, today's show, this gal walked onto the stage of The Voice on NBC as a mom, as an introvert, and as someone who admitted she was still figuring out her place in all of this. But week by week, performance by performance, something just shifted. Confidence turned into presence. Pressure turned into power. And by the time the finale hit, she wasn't just singing. No, she was having a moment that moved coaches to tears and quietly introduced the world to a version of herself she didn't even know existed. That's why her story is so powerful. She's like learning herself and meeting herself the same time we are. And here's what makes this story hit different. She won it all and didn't even tell her son, her family. Not because she didn't want to share the joy, but because she was still processing what that win actually meant, this new identity, this new standard, a new chapter, and you're kind of bursting at the seams when you're shooting TV like this, where you can't always say what things are coming. But now, with new music out and a future that is just busted wide open, we're not just talking about the win, we're talking about what happens after you realize you have arrived. Yeah, Alexia Jayy just won Battle of the Champions, season 29 on NBC's The Voice. She's joining us in just a couple minutes. This one's got soul, no doubt. She's a fun chat. Cannot wait to share it with you. We already know the weather is doing what the weather's doing. It is rainy outside. Showers might even last and go through tomorrow, or at least into tomorrow, into Wednesday. We'll see. I want to tell you about my friends at the Mountain Air. They're in San Luis Obispo. And you know, retail's tough. And if you're doing this since 1975 in a place like SLO, it's because you're doing something right. Right there on Marsh Street. Started by a guy named Wayne Patterson. Now it's owned by a wonderful couple, Josh and Lindsay Herring. They were just so much fun to have on the show. Still encourage you to go back and listen to that chat. They were part of it long before they took it over. Now they're raising their family right here in SloCal, living it, not just managing it from somewhere else. And when you walk in, you feel that. You know, we talked about REI to them. I asked them directly, like, you've been doing your thing for a long time, and then REI, one of these big box stores, comes in, doing what you do, and their answer was perfect. You know, it's cool to have REI turn other people on to what they're doing, but when you walk in, you can't be anonymous. You're going to get that neighborly feel when you walk into the Mountain Air. It's incredible. If you are headed to the snow, they've got the only full-service ski and snowboard repair rental shop in the county. That tells you everything. Plus, a couple doors down, their store, The Switchback. It's their sister shop where you can buy and sell used gear. And these folks are exactly what local advertising is all about. Real business, supporting real communities, keeping that connection right here at home. So I'm going to say, when you stop by, when you follow them on Insta, please let them know. It would take 2 seconds and it would mean so much to them and me to let them know you heard them on Up and Adam. And tell them thank you, not just for keeping it local with who they serve, but keeping it local with the dollars they earn. They're supporting local broadcasting. It's incredible. I love them. Lindsay, Josh Herring, The Mountain Air. Check them out, themountaineer.com.
It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, she is the first ever Battle of Champions winner from The Voice. First ever black woman to win the show in the 15 years it's been on the air. A powerhouse vocalist, you heard it, who's turned a triple chair turn into a full-blown moment. But what I love about Alexia's story is this isn't just about the win. It's about the evolution. From chasing perfection to really finding presence in the moment. From quietly holding her victory, even from her own kid, to stepping into a version of herself that she is just now discovering. With new music out now, also a future that just feels like there is no ceiling to this gal. We're catching up with her right at that perfect inflection point. Please welcome season 29 winner of The Voice on NBC, Battle of the Champions, Alexia Jayy. Thank you for being Up and Adam.
Thank you for having me.
So you win one of the biggest stages in music, and then you go home and then you got to sit on that secret, not just from the world, but like your own family, your own son. That is like not just discipline. That is like an emotional control on another level. What was harder in that moment, holding in that win or holding in that kind of new version of yourself that finally arrived?
I think it was holding that new version in. I found a new person on that stage that I did not know even existed. I'm an introvert at heart. And so I came home asking my mom, who was that girl? Like who? I don't even know who that was. I had the time of my life on that stage, and I put it all on the stage, and having to come home and not be able to tell anybody nothing was crazy.
I know.
But we made it. I'm glad that I didn't tell my son, because he would have went to his school and told everybody.
For real, right? Oh my God.
But he was super excited when he found out. He called me and he's like, "Oh, we got to go to Dubai, Mom. We got to get a car." Like he's
Right.
super excited. He's rich in his head already.
He's already spending that 100 bands on you.
He's already spinning. He's spinning it.
When you finally did see it land on his face, did it feel like you almost were being seen for the first time too in that new way?
Yeah, because my whole thing was to make sure that my kids understood that you could do it in whatever you want in this world as long as you work hard and stay consistent. And the only way that I can, teach that to them is if I do it, if I am being the example. And I think this show really showed my kids, hey, if my mom can do that, she has us, she has all of these things on her plate, and she still can do that, then I could do anything. And my son has been on that keyboard ever since he found out that I won. So I'm doing something right.
Yeah. You said something that stopped me. You've been chasing perfection your whole life, but in the finale moment, you asked God to just let you be present. And, now that you felt what presence and being in that moment can do you ever go back to chase perfection?
No. And that was like one of those light bulb moments for me. I never knew that it felt like that when you are as present as I was for one and only. It was like the energy in the room. It was bouncing off back and forth, and it felt really good. That's why y'all seen all those tears. So no, I'm not going back. I want to be present for every single thing, and I have been since.
Adam Levine, you're on Team Adam. He said something rare. He didn't need to coach you. He just talked about just cheer for you, and that's not something you hear often on a show built on mentorship. What does it say about an artist when guidance becomes confirmation instead of like correction?
Well, he said that he didn't do anything, but I will be the first to tell you that he really built my confidence. I've always been nervous. I love what I do, and I always have, and I always had this nervousness to me. I get real quiet, and I'm just focused on what I have to do instead of just enjoying the moment and being present, like we were talking about earlier. But Adam kind of just basically was like, "Hey, if that's what you do when you're nervous." And stay nervous. And it really built my confidence because you know what? You're right. There's nothing wrong with being nervous. That just means I want to do good and I do. And so, yeah, I really do believe that he helped me in ways that he doesn't even understand.
Mm. Did that freedom almost kind of scare you at all? I mean, not necessarily like not being shaped, but just him fully seeing you.
No, it was exciting because I feel like in the music, what I've dealt with majority of my life is people trying to shape, what they want to hear, and getting in front of somebody like Adam Levine, and he's like, "No, do what you want to do." It's like, got it. Okay, this is fun. This is exciting. And then you're like, okay, what do I want to do?
I love that because I feel like every artist. I mean, it's kind of perfect you said that because it kind of gets into what I was going to ask next. Like every artist has that invisible line they cross from, God, I hope this works, to this is who I am. And when did you stop trying to win the voice and realize your voice had already won?
I think from the blind audition, I literally was just singing. My intention was never to win. I'm not a competition girly, at all. I don't know how to do that. I made so many friends on that show. It's ridiculous. I wanted them to win just as bad as they wanted me to win. And so I just feel like during the blinds, I said to myself, we just gonna get up here and we're gonna sing, regardless of how it turns out. Each and every time, if we get past a certain, obstacle, we just gonna keep singing. I never told myself that I was competing against anybody but myself.
I love that. And then you turned around all three chairs. It's incredible.
Dope.
It was certainly dope. I know, right? They're comparing you to the greats, Alexia. We're talking Aretha, Lauryn Hill, and not just for your sound, but for your soul. What part of your life had to be lived for your voice to sound like that?
I think I had to, have my kids, and I had to go through the hardship because before all of this, my mom, she was sick, and I had to be the person to step up and be strong and, take care of her and, do all the doctor's appointments. And it kind of, got me to a reality of, life is really short. And if my mom could go through something like this, we don't have a lot of time here. And I think that was the eye opener for me to just let go and just go ahead and just do it. And, my mom, she's well now, thank God. But it was just that experience. It kind of changed my life. And I just wanted to do music way more after that because I knew that that was my calling. And I think I was just, putting it on the back burner for certain situations. And after she got sick, I was just like, nah, I need her to see this. She has to see this. And I'm so glad that she's able to see the fruits of her labor, Lord.
You wake up one day as Alexia Jayy, and then the next day you're the voice champion, but Battle of the Champions and first black woman in the show's 15-year history. I mean, all these things, they're not just titles. They're really a shift in how the world meets you. And I'm curious, what's the biggest thing that you find, Alexia, that you're protecting right now? Everything around you starts to change. What do you feel like you're really holding close now?
I'm an introvert at heart, and I like to keep my peace. I like to keep my privacy, and so I would like to, remain that way and just be able to do what I do. I built what I tell everybody is when I was little, because I was such an introvert. My mom, she gave me this system of, it's okay to be an introvert, but you need to build another character that isn't.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
Yeah. And so Alexia is the extrovert, and Brianna, which is my real name, is an introvert. And so when I get through being Alexia, I can go home and be Brianna, and I plan to protect that at all costs.
You know, you have media, and I was just Googling you, and as I was waiting for you to come in the room here, and just the stories and like some of these stories, whether it's local Alabama media, national media, entertainment, Tonight, whatever, they're saying like her potential is limitless. And that's beautiful, but it's also kind of overwhelming because limitless means infinite directions. It means some people trying to define you as you're defining yourself. When everything is possible, how do you decide what's true to you?
Well, I'd like to say that I know who I am, and I know what I love. I know how I like to sing, and I don't think a genre of music will change that. I'm still going to sing the way that I sing. I love all music. So any direction that I am pulled in, I am with it because my mother she was like Joe Jackson. She knew exactly what was going to happen. I don't even know how she knew, but it's like she knew exactly what was going to happen. And she taught me so many different genres of music that I'm not scared to do anything. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it at least once. And hey, if we can't do it, cool. But I'm not going to say I never did try.
It's so good because especially, that Michael movie comes out this week and, Joe Jackson.
So
I know. Everyone's going to like dress up. I can't wait. He was my first concert, Dodger Stadium. I would have been like 6, 7 years old.
You're so lucky.
Man. And then, he came out here. I'm kind of where that whole trial was, that last one. So I remember getting off the radio station and that's where he jumps on the car and he's doing like this. Oh my God, I had like chills. I was working part-time at a wine bar. I got invited by the Nation of Islam to Neverland and I called the wine bar. I said, I'm not coming in today. Like I'm going to Neverland, I would have. What did his music mean to you coming up?
Mike? We talking about Mike now? Oh, let me turn my computer so I can Mike was my mother's favorite singer, favorite performer. And so he was definitely one of those people in my genre queue of listening to. Mike was the best. And my kids love Mike. Like, I think Mike was very timeless, still timeless to this day. And I don't understand how he was able to, be him. Like, it had to be crazy.
I know.
Being Jackson, like, he could not go anywhere in the world and people did not know his face. Like, but I love Mike. Mike was amazing.
Yeah. Was there a song that you didn't sing this season, but you wish you had? Like maybe the one that was just almost came up but didn't? I don't know.
No, every song that I sung, I wanted to sing real bad.
And there was
like real bad.
I love that. What's something small, Alexia, that means more to you now than it did before you won?
Having my family, being surrounded by my family, and them being, so proud of me. And, I made history. I made history for my folks. And, you can't take for granted your village. And they've supported me throughout this whole process, even before The Voice. And I just can't thank them enough.
There's a difference between someone who wins a show and someone who arrives in their life. And what I love about your story, Alexia, is it doesn't just feel like this was the peak. It feels like this was just the intro. I think a lot of people see themselves in your journey. The first ever Battle of Champions winner. Yeah, I want to thank you for being Up and Adam. Come back soon because something tells me your story is just getting good. I love chatting with you. Thanks for being Up and Adam.
Thank you so much for having me.
Some say life's where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
All right, congrats to Alexia once again on winning The Voice, season 29, and we can't wait to see what is next. You can check out her new single, Rent Free, wherever you get your music. All the links, including how to follow her journey, right there in the show notes. All right. Super Soak coming up in just a couple weeks. May 9th, Saturday, Paso City Park, downtown. It is the Olive and Lavender Festival. We're going to have these people on the show in a week or so. But this festival is so much fun. One, they took two popular festivals from forever, the Olive Festival and then the Lavender Festival, and just did an ultimate collab. That's like an all-star festival. Best part, it is completely free. 9 to 4 in the park. It's one of my favorite weekends on the square. Just chill. You got everything from like olive oil, great. I mean, the olive oil that you taste it, you're like, oh man, that is not the stuff we have at home. This is good. Lavender in the air, local farmers, little pop-ups, demos, one of those kind of, strolls around the park. You end up staying a lot longer than you planned. Again, completely free, 9 to 4. It is the Paso Robles Olive and Lavender Festival. We got links in the show notes. Better see you there. All right. So yes, we spent yesterday moving studios. We are moving out of the Tamber Lobro Studios. And I got to say, and I'll keep saying it, my time at the Tamber Lobro Studios was probably longer than either me or them ever planned. It was always fun. It was always incredible. And I've always loved Josh Clapper. And of course, his wife, Chiasa, is lovely. And Hayden, the assistant winemaker. Everyone there is so nice and so good. So this is a bittersweet kind of growth, evolution. He is growing and doing more, and his wine and winery is only getting more popular. He's doing some cool events at his winery, and the space that he was so generous with me. I was in this back whiskey room for a while, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to be using it more. So can we move you up to the front room? It's a little bigger. We're not using that room right now. I'm like, oh my God, sure. And the whiskey room was so cool because no matter what direction you put a camera, it just looked bomb. It looks so good, The other room is a little bit more like, it's like white brick, and it was a little bit harder to like, quote, dress up, but we did some tricks on CapCut with some, chyrons and imaging. It looked good. I just loved being there. I loved having a place where I could have guests come in and they're like, oh, where are we at? Oh, I love their wine. Or you know what I mean? It was just a cool community feel. And they really expressed that they loved a lot of the people that came through there. And it was just time. They needed their space. I was ready to perhaps, grow a little bit. And that's what we did. So I will always love my friends at at a Tamber Winery, Josh Clapper and Chiasa Clapper. And I look forward to having them in the new studio, the new SlowCal Studios. I will be situated at Visit SlowCal. This is where they do all of the tourism and marketing for the county. So it's just perfect because I'm already doing a lot of my own version of that storytelling. And they're the official hubs for that storytelling. So I got my own office, kind of converted it into a little studio. I am just stoked right now. It feels so good. The walls, they're like, we got one wall, it's like bright blue, and they got pictures of like beautiful pieces of our county up already. Like, it's just awesome. And the people that I gotta say, Emily, and of course, Kathy, Molly, Annie, everyone there has been so sweet. Emily was there yesterday as I kind of moved in, and it was just so easy. And I don't know, I couldn't be more excited. I used to interview Whitney Cheney from when she was at the Downtown Slow Association on Up+Adam all the time. And she left the Downtown Association for a jump in her career to work for SlowCal. So she is, I think she's like the director of like something community advocacy. I don't know. She's awesome. Anyway, she's there. So I get to see, Whitney Cheney again. It's just fun. It's just really, really exciting, really fun. So that is what's going down. The new studios of Up+Adam, and they'll always be the Lobro Studios to me. And really my Lobro Studios started at my, where I'm at right now in the crib, my studio at home, because we are in the Lobro. But when I moved to Tamber and added that on, we called it the Lobro Studios because it's still in the Lobro. I think we're still in the Lobro at SlowCal, but we're not technically on Broad, and Lobro means lower Broad. So are we in the Lobro still? I mean, where SlowCal is. It's like right there where Higuera ends, or Madonna ends, at Higuera, and there's like that, you drive under that thing. So that's where the studios are at now. So that's what we're doing. So I'm super stoked. We've yet to have, I'm just to the 98% of moving in yesterday. I got a few more things. I got a new mic arm I need to put up there and install. But I hope to be doing our first interview there like later today or tomorrow. And then I'll be, completely, still got to do a couple things to get completely out of timbre, but we're all but out. So it sucks because when you have moves like this, it's kind of like big smiles and big hugs, but you're just like, man, I'm just so thankful to Josh and Shiasa for letting me use that space for so long. And it was just such a fun place to bring in guests. It was really cool. And I'm going to miss doing an interview. And I don't know if you ever heard it on the show, but sometimes in my headphones, you'd hear like, beep, 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 like a forklift backing up, but it was ever so faint. So no forklifts, but I will miss the forklifts. I will miss everything about being with Timbre and Josh. They're just awesome people. So, all right, let's thank our friends Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show called Start Again. Also, I do want to thank our friends Josh and Shiasa for the Timbre Lobro Studios. I still have interviews like Benny from Benny's Pizza that I will air tomorrow that were recorded in the Timbre Lobro Studios. So you will still hear me mention them because every interview that I record that comes from the Timbre Lobro Studios, I will enthusiastically show love to Timbre for the Lobro Studios. So I will definitely let you know when we move in with our first interview in SoCal, but we are all but moved in. I'll share some pictures soon. Super excited about it. All right, I'm talking enough on it. Moonshiner Collective, original music on the show called Start Again. I already said that. Timbre Lobro Studios said that. Okay, good. We're good. Stay dry. Please have a great, continuing beginning of your week. Look for us on KSBY tonight. Not me specifically, but I think they're going to be covering that dinner we told you about for Chef Kian McCabe. His beautiful 9-month-old daughter, Saoirse, is it neuroblastoma? It's a cancer that I don't know that I'm saying right, but his lovely wife, Siobhan, and their beautiful 9-year-old Isla. This family has been plagued with their baby, the new baby, has spent a third of her life fighting cancer. She got it 6 months old. She's only 9 months old now. So they're kind of in this place where the chemo is done. They're going to wait. They're going to see. And we're doing a big dinner tonight at Ox and Anchor, and I think KSBY is going to cover it. So they'll put up the GoFundMe. I'll put up the GoFundMe information in the show notes. Even if you can send $5 their way, it just helps. And it's such a sweet, young, talented family. The chef is talented. So there you go. All right. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for connecting here, rating, reviewing, subscribing wherever you listen to the show. Appreciate you more than you know. I'm Adam Montiel. Thanks for being Up and Adam.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again. Let's start again.